get back to get a little bit more video. Let me make adjust my camera adjustable here. It's 40 degrees. Today's the 23rd of February. It's like 40 degrees. It's pretty cool. I got a jacket on. About more talk about the bees. The queen. I was making a video here, and last video I made actually, and for some reason it got cut off. So talking about the queen. The queen has to be mated. If you've seen the other video, it's the queen needs to be mated 25 to 50 times. She needs a lot of sperm in her, and the more when she lays the egg in one of these cells, if she puts sperm with the egg, then the egg will hatch out as being a she bee, which will be a worker or a queen. If she lays an egg, she don't put any sperm with it, it's going to be a male bee, a drone. Now again, the drone has no stinger, has nothing on it, has no sacs on its legs to carry pollen, there's nothing inside to pack nectar. So the drone sits around the hive and eats honey and mates a queen. It's its only purpose. When the first frost comes in the fall, the bees will actually run all the drones out of the hives because they don't need them anymore. Run them out of the hives and freeze to death. I'm going to get into all that later on, more about that. But back to the queen. When the queen, it's common sense. When the queen runs out of sperm or gets really, really low on sperm, in other words, she's not been mated 25 times, she's been mated once or twice, then her sperm is going to run out. She's going to run out of sperm, and she can still lay eggs, but the eggs was going to be all male bees, or mostly male bees. So the bees sees these laying all male bees, and the queen is not doing her function as she should be, and the worker bees will designate to make a new queen. They're going to succeed her. And what they'll do is they'll run up here and pick a cell out that's it's liquid and could be a she queen, and they're going to feed her royal jelly from the day it breaks. And it breaks. She lays an egg in 3 days, 3.5 days. The egg will break. It's hatched. Then they start feeding all of the cells royal jelly. If they're going to make a queen, they continue feeding her royal jelly, and the queen's going to, after 16 days, the queen's going to emerge out as a virgin queen. Now you're still going to have the old queen. If it's going to succeed a queen, the worker bees is going to keep the old queen separated from the new queen. They are not. The worker bees are not going to let them fight. So once the queen bee, the virgin bee, gets out, mates, and comes back and lays eggs, then they'll get rid of the old queen. The reason they keep the old queen is in case they make a virgin queen, a new queen, and she comes back and she's not laying eggs like she should, or for whatever reason, she could be born with one leg or whatever, and one wing or whatever, and so if that happens, then they could just kill the virgin queen, and they can still get the old queen laying eggs in here. So they can pick another cell and start feeding it royal jelly and go through the process again till they get a queen that meets their specifications. Once they do that, then the old queen is gone, and they got them a new queen. So God knows what He's doing when He makes everything. There's nothing God has not made, and it really amazes me when you think about the bees will literally keep the queen separated to while the new queen has been tested now what causes a swarm of bees? I don't have swarms per se because the worker bees gets too much honey in the hive. They got no room to work. So if you got no room to work, your house is too big, something's got to give. So the worker bees will determine when to swarm. The queen has nothing to do with that. It's the workers. They're all shoe bees. The workers will feed themselves, they'll just glut themselves. For the ones that's going to leave, they'll decide a few days before the new queen hatches, they'll decide who's going to stay and who's going to go. Now usually the older bees goes along with a few of the new bees. The bees that's going to go will just glut themselves. Instead of getting fat, they develop wax on their cells down here. They develop wax, and the reason, so a couple of days before the new queen hatches out, the bees will come out and they'll fly around and call the queen out. The queen will come out and they'll go with her. The queen will land on a tree limb or whatever, and they'll all get her around her. Send out scouts and find a place to go, a hole in a tree or etc., or some or a house or something of this nature for a new hive. Now, as quick as the bees gets to the hole in the tree, a new home, they start making wax immediately. They have to have wax really quick. So overnight they'll make a big old ball of a comb like this big around, and that queen will be in there laying right there. Just as quick as they get through, the queen's in there laying in it. They have to do this because they ain't got time. They're limited on time. So I thought that's cleared it up on that last thing. To keep you maybe entertained a little bit, I copied down a couple of things. Honey wine is the oldest drink in the world known to man. It's found in Asia in 7,000 BC, 7,000 years before our Christ was born. And now I don't know when I heard this or anything of this nature. I could have been so many years. I've been 50 years ago, thereabouts. But the word honeymoon comes from wine. Back in the old days, they wanted to get married and they wanted to have kids. They want to have a bunch of kids tomorrow. So the honey wine was supposed to be known to make you very fertile. So they had no calendar, so they took the moon as to be in 30 days. The moon turns from a fourth and half and three quarters and then to a full moon, 30-day period. So they used the moon as a calendar. Now, the bride and the groom were to drink honey wine for 30 days. So, as 30 days, you got the moon. So they would drink honey wine for a full moon. So the word converted over to honeymoon, the honeymoon. So it's very simple, honeymoon. Now, I've made honey wine before. I've made honey wine years ago, and it takes the old method. It takes 9 months to make honey wine, which is very interesting because it's the same time it takes a woman to have a baby, 9 months. So there may be something to this old saying that they had back then. Now, honey will fermentate at 19%, a moisture content. So the bees will gather it. It might have 21% or 20%, 19%, and the bees will put it in the comb, the nectar in the comb, and they'll blow the comb. They'll keep blowing it. They got air condition it. They get water and they blow the wings and air condition it, and they get the moisture content to 17% before they seal it. Before they seal the comb, 17%, 19%. You take this out at 17%, and it'll make alcohol. Believe me, it'll fermentate. It's got wild yeast already in there. So Now, I've made honey wine before over the years, and I thought it'd be a little something to show you how you do that. It's about 7/8 of a gallon of honey and 4 gallons of hot water, and you mix it up really well, and use them glass, the old water containers. You can see the hydrometer meter here, how dirty that thing is. It has been used in so many years. You need 2 readings with this meter right here, hydrometer meter. The first reading is after you get your honey mixed up, then you're going to take a reading with this. You're going to fill this full of honey, and this thing is going to float down to a certain point. And it's usually 7/8 of a gallon usually makes 1.16. The specific gravitational level is 1.16. So you need to read it. You need to take a reading when you first put it in. So if you don't use 7/8, if you use 5/8 or whatever, it's going to be different. You're going to have different readings. Of course, you got to put yeast in it and all this good stuff. I'm not going to have to make wine, but I thought you'd be interested in it. You might be interested in this. So you take your first reading and you write it down. And say it's 1.16. I've got down here. Say the first reading is usually 1.16. If you get up to 1.19, that's like 24% or something, 25%. You just can't get there. It won't make it. You get to 21% and you're stretching the limit. So you make it around 19% and come out about 7/8 of a gallon of honey and make about 19% alcohol. The way you do that, let me get my calculator out here. The way you do that is, let me get this thing turned on. The way you do that is calculator. Okay, 1.16 minus, the reading should be 1.012. Now you got to times that, divide that, excuse me. That's 1.16 divided by 1.012, and you're going to get, it's 148. Specific gravity level is went down from 1.16 to 1.012, which is 148. Now, to turn that into volume, you got to multiply that by 131.25, and you multiply that, and you get 19%. Well, actually, it's 19.425%. Rounded off, it's 19% alcohol. So, to do another one, say it's I don't know, 1.14 minus, see, this good figure would be 1.0, let's say 16, and we'll get 0.124. This is the gravitational level. Now, the yeast, the sugar is turning, the yeast is turning the sugar, the honey, into alcohol. Times that by 131.25. That's the circumference of that, and that would give you 16.275, which rounded off would be 16%. I might be a little interested in. I'm not going to tell you how to make wine, but that's not interesting in that. How to do that. The bees know when and what and where to do things, and we don't, but God does. The bees know when to seal this. They won't seal it until it's 17%. 17%, and then they'll seal it, and been checked and checked and checked, and they won't seal it at 19%. It's the 17%. Now, I found out years ago that a lot of people don't know how to plow. I mean, with a tractor, they don't know how to plow. I plan on making a video on how to cultivate, how to plow, how to make your furrows, how to adjust your plows, how to rotate, and how to work a tractor. There's a lot to it that people don't understand. I was surprised that farmers that grow tobacco didn't know this. I mean, I really was surprised to find out so many people didn't understand it. So I hope you enjoyed this little quick video, and I'm freezing out here. So if you like it, subscribe and like. If you don't, it's okay too. Thank you.